The number of election-related deaths rise to 62 following an ambush on a Lano Del Norte mayor Thursday night.
Iwag naman, kaya ka nga Citizens Army, kamay ka ng COMELEC, isusuntok mo ba yung sarili mo?
POL Chief Sixto Brillantes hit citizen arm NAMFREL for publicly criticizing the Commission on Elections. And China says the Philippines is trying to legalize its occupation of disputed islands in the South China Sea. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The ambush in Lano Del Norte on Thursday increases the number of election-related deaths by more than 20%. Data from the Philippine National Police shows 62 people have died in election violence as of Friday, up from the 50 recorded as of April 22. On Thursday, gunmen ambushed the convoy of a Lano Del Norte mayor, killing 13 and wounding 10 others. Mayor Abdulmalik Manamparan of Nunungan, Lano Del Norte survives the ambush but sustained a shrapnel wound that grazed his head. Officials say Manamparan's daughter and granddaughter died in the ambush. The ambush on a remote mountain road near Nunungan town comes 17 days before the May 13th elections. Manamparan of the opposition Nationalist People's Coalition Party is running for vice mayor of the town of Nunungan. Thursday night's ambush is the worst case of election-related violence in Lano Del Norte since 2010. Police data from 2010 show only one case of election-related violence in the region, a case of ballot switching. PNP recorded no killings then. Commission on Elections Chair Sixto Brillantes says he will coordinate with the PNP to possibly declare Lano Del Norte an area of grave concern. COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes criticizes the National Citizens Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, for its statement on malfunctioning ballot counting machines. In a two-page letter to Brillantes released Thursday, NAMFREL says problems involving PCOS machines will pose major problems on Election Day, referring to incidents during the mock polls COMELEC organized in February. In an interview with reporters, Brillantes criticizes NAMFREL's move.
As a citizens arm of COMELEC, they should not be coming out openly against the COMELEC.
Bakit po, sir?
Iwag naman, kaya ka nga Citizens Army, kamay ka ng COMELEC, isusuntok mo ba yung sarili mo?
Brillantes says he responded to NAMFREL's concerns, but not yet in a, quote, point-by-point refutation of the issues. He assures the public definitely the PCOS is very reliable. Brillantes basically warns NAMFREL, saying, quote, "We also have the same authority to cancel their accreditation if you think you would rather act as a critic." It's not just senatorial and congressional candidates who are part of the controversial Team BuH High list. In Cebu, a group of lay Catholics is taking its anti-reproductive health law campaign to the gubernatorial and mayoral races. The Lay Initiatives for Election, or LIFE 2013, says it is endorsing the candidacies of candidates some call pro-life politicians. Gubernatorial bet Cebu 3rd District Representative Pablo John Garcia of One Cebu and re-electionist Cebu City Mayor Michael Rama of Team Rama and the opposition United Nationalist Alliance. LIFE 2013 convener Dr. Rene Bullicer says his group will officially endorse the local candidates along with its senatorial, congressional, and party list bets in a grand rally in Cebu on May 5. He says it's only in Cebu where local bets are included in the Team BuH High list so far.
We need allies. We need allies not only in the chambers, in Senate and Congress, but also local allies. Because pag malakas, like in the Cebu, we have the malakas ang gobernador, antay siya, so mahilapan sila pag-implementar whatever they want to implement, especially in big cities like in Metro Cebu.
Rappler's editor-at-large, Marites Vitug, says a famous family name could win Senate seats, but two long-term solutions could reform this system. Here's her video blog.
The newbies in the senatorial campaign have one thing in common. They come from well-known families. Bam Aquino and Nancy Binay descend from political dynasties, Grace Poe from showbiz fame. Each has his own saving grace. Bam is a bright young man devoted to social entrepreneurship. Nancy, whose claim to fame is being a personal assistant to her parents, exudes a common touch and campaigns on populist issues. Grace showed her deft management skills running the MTRCB. But the big question is, in a level playing field, would they even be considered as candidates for the Senate? That is the heart of the issue. In our political system, lesser-known candidates with bigger accomplishments, but who are not born to privilege, suffer a disadvantage. Two long-term solutions can correct this. One, strong political parties that flourish on issues, not personalities. Two, amending the Constitution and making the senatorial race regional rather than national. This will encourage leaders from the cities and provinces to emerge. Campaign expenses would also be reduced. This is Marites Vitug for Vitug Vlogs.
China slams the Philippines for its attempt to seek an international verdict on the territorial dispute over islands in the West Philippine Sea or the South China Sea. This comes after the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, or ITLOS, appoints a team to hear the case against China. The Philippines wants China's 9-dash claim over the sea declared invalid, but China's foreign ministry responds. The position outlined by China will not change. It says the Philippines was attempting to, quote, cover in a cloak of legality its illegal occupation of China's islands and reefs. China wants the Philippines to withdraw all personnel and facilities from the islands it said the Philippines was occupying. The statement comes a day after the Association of Southeast Asian Nations calls for urgent talks with China to resolve the territorial disputes. The mother of the two suspects in the Boston Marathon bombings blames American authorities for the death of one of her sons. Tamerlan Tsarnaev was killed in a shootout with police while his younger brother Dzhokhar was wounded during his capture. Dzhokhar is charged with federal terror offenses over the bombings. At a news conference in the Russian region of Dagestan Thursday, the brother's mother, Zubeidat, says U.S. security services, quote, cruelly killed her eldest son. She also says her children were innocent in the twin blasts on April 15th that killed 3 and wounded more than 200 others. Zubeidat says, I know one thing, that my children did not do this. There's a lot that is not comprehensible. South Korea says it will withdraw all remaining staff from its joint industrial complex with North Korea after Pyongyang rejects an offer of formal talks. Earlier, Seoul gave Pyongyang 24 hours to agree to negotiations on the Kaesong industrial complex, but North Korea rejects the offer. On April 9th, Pyongyang pulled out its workforce and suspended operations in the complex, which is located 10 kilometers inside North Korea. South Korea's unification minister says the government made the, quote, inevitable decision to protect its remaining staff in Kaesong. Seoul also wants Pyongyang to guarantee the safe return of the South Koreans. Back in the Philippines, athletes from the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, or ARMM, compete in Palarong Pambansa for more than just medals. Devin Wong reports.
No matter where the region, the dreams are the same.
Makita po ako sa UAAP, volleyball.
During the games, youth from different regions and backgrounds defy the odds and prove they can overcome their personal obstacles. But the group from ARMM carries a common burden, overcoming the way people look at them and their home.
May narinig kasi kami, yan sila, galing yan sa ARMM, tapos pinagtatawanan kami, tapos parang na-hurt din kami. Hindi dapat sila mag-pull down yung mga, galing sa ARMM kasi, tao din kami.
News about the ARMM are stories of conflict and heartbreak, where oftentimes larger political events overshadow the stories of everyday people. This year's theme at Palaro is using sports as a road to peace, and it hits closer to home for the delegation from ARMM.
Peace plays an important role. Of course, with peace, we can attain development and progress.
Coach Arnell says his athletes have greater challenges than finding proper training facilities. In his 5 years at Palaro, his teams have never brought back a medal, but he's proud of all his athletes.
Binabaliwala lang namin kasi alam namin na dapat sa Palaro, kaya nga tayo dito sa Palaro para magkaroon ng peace, hindi para makipag-away, because pina-forgive lang namin sila.
ARMM athletes come to Palaro to fight perceptions. All the athletes proudly representing their regions here at Palaro remind us that it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're going, and to never judge based on history, but what could be. Devin Wong, Rappler, Dumaguete.
Defending champion NCR returns to the finals of both men's basketball and women's volleyball in the 2013 Palarong Pambansa. The NCR high school boys basketball team survives a late game meltdown and escapes Calabar zone 73-72. They set up a finals duel with Central Visayas, which torched Western Visayas 76-38 in the other semis pairing. In volleyball, Monica Ortiz leads NCR to a straight sets whipping of Calabar zone to also arrange a championship battle with the surging Central Visayas. Catherine Bondad and Regina Castrillo finished the Palaro with the most medals after bagging 7 each in swimming. Bondad is named the most outstanding swimmer of the competitions for the 4th straight year. Central Visayas also makes it to the finals of men's football after upending NCR. In the last day of the individual contest, NCR stays in the top spot with 155 medals, while Western Visayas has 92. Calabar Zone, Central Visayas, and Central Luzon round out the top 5 as Palaro 2013 approaches its last day tomorrow. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 7, Swiss pharmaceuticals giant Novartis is working on a vaccine for the H7N9 strain of bird flu. CEO Joe Jimenez says Novartis has analyzed the virus's genetic codes. He says the company, quote, would today be in a position to develop a vaccine for initial clinical trials within 6 to 8 weeks. At number 9, a Pew Research Center report released Wednesday says online social networks act as political hotspots in the United States. The study, titled Civic Engagement in the Digital Age, reports 39% of U.S. adults engaged in political activity in internet communities during the 2012 U.S. presidential campaign. By comparison, only 26% of people used online social networks in any form during the 2008 presidential campaign. And at number 10, a luxury golf bag, a statue of Abraham Lincoln, and an Australian rules football jersey are among the gifts given to U.S. President Barack Obama in 2011. The U.S. State Department releases a list of presents given to Obama by foreign governments or dignitaries, ranging from the modest to the lavish. Several items reflected Obama's fondness for golf. All federal employees in the United States must declare gifts from foreign governments or organizations, with gifts to the first family turned over to the National Archives. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter. It gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote comes down to the Mood Navigator. That's the middle of the front page, and that crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories which have gotten the most number of votes on their meters. If we take a look today, the stories that have most affected Filipinos, well, let's take a look. A series, the second part of the series on Samar. Kung walang korap, bakit sobrang mahirap ang Samar? A whopping 86% angry, 11% sad, and the first part of it, why Samar remains poor, 79% angry. The third that has the most, the Navy denies killing 35 militants trying to enter Malaysia. This is to rebut what the Malaysian Defense Minister said earlier, that 35 were killed before they entered. 48% angry, the red dominating the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Friday, April 26, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.